I feel bad for John who has to put up with this bullshit.
We love you, John. And I'll make love to you, John. I feel sorry for him too. Put up with our dumbasses.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight, we have our Wizard of Wait What, Shinoda.
I had vodka before drinking. Wait, no. Before.
But you definitely are drunk now, buddy. Woo! He's fucked up now.
Shut. I had vodka before I started this. That's what I meant to say.
he was pre-drinking. And our chivalry of
Pre-game.
Shota's Shotaro.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
That is not called for at all. But tonight, we're going to be talking about something that some of you may have heard of. Anime Expos recently, and we just wanted to get together and talk about some of the news and announcements that came out of Anime Expo 2019. Worth mentioning, none of us were actually there, but we're still going to talk about it anyway. And I want to get started by talking about a couple of news items that happened in the couple of days before Anime Expo actually kicked off. So these announcements didn't take place at the expo, but they just happened to kind of coincide with the week of it. The first and probably the biggest, I guess if you're an Attack on Titan fan, is the fact that Attack on Titan has announced that its final season will premiere in the fall of 2020.
All you hoes are like, Studio Wit isn't gonna animate it anymore. It's never gonna get an end, but it's getting animated by someone at least.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. So this announcement did not include a studio. It did not include any kind of like crew, like a director or anything. So that is, at least for now, as of the time it's recording, is still up in the air. It has not been announced that Studio Wit will be animating the final season. We do know that there are some animators at Studio Wit that have said that they don't plan on animating any more Attack on Titan, so it's up in the air, at least for now.
Now, that being said, a lot of us fans of AOT are hoping that Studio Wit are the people that do it, because they've done a fantastic job so far. But that being said, the fact that this is gonna be a complete anime is rather fantastic, because, like, you don't see it happen too often, so the fact that it's actually definitive is wonderful.
And if any anime deserves a complete set of seasons, it's Attack on Titan, obviously.
I think you made a complete adaptation, but yeah.
Yeah. Well...
It's also worth mentioning
you
the
say
manga
complete adaptation, but the manga isn't finished yet.
It's not finished yet. I'm assuming it's going to be finished before fall 2020. If it's not, I just want to say right here and right now, I will get the popcorn ready and brace myself for a Game of Thrones style backlash from the fans because they have an anime original ending.
Sir, please don't say that. That's a nightmare.
Also, I do want to say, in before JC Staff picks us up and it's a 12-episode final season that rushes through everything.
No,
Girl,
stop. JC Staff isn't that bad.
That already happened with part 2 of season 3. It was pretty rushed, and I could tell that Studio Wit did not want to finish animating this.
I'm more than 50% sure that the final season is not going to be animated by Studio Wit.
I don't think it will be, but I do think whoever picks it up, it will be well animated in their style.
I personally hope
Perhaps.
that Studio Wit does do it and finish it up with all their talent and just finish it out. You did the whole anime, be proud of it, and then move on to the next thing. I hope that's what they do. but we'll see what they do.
Yeah. Also worth pointing out, the very, very short teaser preview that was released reveals absolutely nothing. It's basically a fucking wall of text that says the final season 2020. I'm like, all right, well, that tells me nothing.
As someone who's read the manga, shit gets wild. Like, Sho can back me up on this.
I'm not fully caught up, but it does get wild.
We're-
I will agree.
We're past
Can I-
where
okay,
the anime
so-
ended, so we know
but since-
what happens.
Since both of you have or are currently reading the manga, do you actually think it's going to be finished by the time this anime starts airing?
I think
really-
so. They have time to do it. Like the manga, they said it's gonna be finished very soon as the time of this recording. So I think they'll be able to
Soon,
finish it
TM.
off. Soon TM,
Okay.
obviously. But yeah.
I actually haven't watched the last episode that has aired of Attack on Titan. Have you, Chinoda?
I have. And
What did they end on?
Wow. Spoilers, maybe.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, we won't do that then. But so what I'm
Did
trying
you
to
forget
say,
we were recording?
what I'm trying to say is that I'm not entirely sure what the end goal, what is trying to happen in Attack on Titan, the manga. I don't know where they're trying to go, so I don't know really where it's gonna stop. So I don't really know what. Well, allegedly this is the final arc of the manga, but I don't know how it's gonna end.
We'll see how it goes. Is the thing.
Game of Thrones.
Stop saying that. You're giving me bad flashbacks.
I'm just throwing it out there that it's a possibility.
It's always a possibility. I don't want that possibility.
Oh, man. So something else that happened right before Anime Expo happened was a partnership was announced between Crunchyroll and Viz Media for home video and digital distribution within North America. I personally think this is something we're talking about because since the Crunchyroll Funimation split, Crunchyroll doesn't have a great track record when it comes to distributing their own stuff like in physical format, because they really don't have a underpinning of it. And they're a streaming company. They started out as a streaming company. That's what they're allegedly good at. So I think this partnership that they have with Viz Media that's been announced can only help them in that regard. Viz Media has a really good distribution arm when it comes to physical media like DVDs and Blu-rays, and they also have a pretty good manga distribution arm, which is something I think that Crunchyroll can utilize because a lot of people may not realize that Crunchyroll also licenses manga that you have to watch on their shitty manga reading app. It would be nice if some of the stuff that they license could be physically released.
Some of the
If
stuff
it's not
that they
available elsewhere.
license is physically released.
Yeah, but not everything.
I mean, I prefer to read it like simulpubbed on their website, even though their manga reader is shit. Like, they have good titles. It's just their manga reader. Their manga.
Yeah, the interface is really bad.
Yeah, the UI is pretty bad.
Like,
so
if they
hopefully
just like
improve
improve
that.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying like they get stuff out in a timely manner. I'll give them that for sure. It's just dealing with that awful interfaces.
And like, you can't even bookmark manga.
No, that's my biggest thing. That's my biggest fucking thing against their manga reading app is that if they just added that, I could get over their shitty user interface. Like, I might be reading something and I want to come back to a page later. Like, let me do that, please.
And like, don't make me go to every single manga and see if it's updated. Like, at least if you put it in my queue, then I can see with one look.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems with it, and we hope that there are improvements that happen to it in a timely manner, rather than like 6 months later. But
Or never.
yeah, overall though, it's better than like no legal options still. But we do want improvements.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll will only improve if there is a mob riot.
Not that we're advocating such things.
We're not Digibro.
No. Oh God, no. On that note, so I want to get to the actual convention itself, and before we get to some of the news that came out of the convention, I do want to genuinely talk about the convention
Oh
itself.
boy, here we go.
I know. Here we go. Brace yourselves because it's coming. Anime Expo has a problem when it comes to day one, in that they don't know how to do day one. And this happens every single year, but it's always a different cause, or they say it's always a different cause. But there always seems to be a thing of people actually getting inside the convention center on day one that's a problem, and this year was no different. There were reports of attendees having to wait 5 or more hours outside in the heat of Los Angeles to get into the convention center on day one. There was, again, allegedly, because we weren't there, I'm going off of what many people who actually attended the convention on day one have said, like on Twitter and Facebook and whatever, have said that there was very little organization. There were almost no signs pointing you as to where to go to line up. So some people were staying in lines only to find out that there wasn't even a line at all. The volunteers that they had outside trying to control the lines seemed to be very unattentive and unknowledgeable as to what was going on. In fact, several volunteers reportedly quit on day one. They just walked off with everything in hand and just like said fuck it. And there were some people that had medical issues while they were standing out in the heat, and especially people who were in cosplay. I had heard this happen to a lot of them. I mean, think about it. If you're standing outside for 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours in LA heat in the summertime, if you're not wearing a giant fucking costume, you can probably hack it if you have a little bit of water and maybe some shade. But if you're in a costume, you're fucked.
Yeah. A lot of
I don't
summertime
understand.
conventions need to learn that they need to do some additional health stuff for attendees when there's big panels
here's
with
an idea.
lines.
Here's an idea. Put up some awnings outside for people to stand in the shade. That'd be a start.
Why don't you work for Anime Expo?
I think my thing about bringing this up is that this, ever since Anime Expo got to about 75,000 plus attendees, this has been a constant issue for the last 7 to 8 years. And like I can sit here and I can explain ways that they could probably fix it, but they won't do it, because I think that Anime Expo is, number one, it will never cap attendance no matter what anyone tells them to do. And they seem to, for whatever reason, be married to the idea of being in the city of Los Angeles. I don't know why. There are better cities in California you could go to, but there are even better cities in the United States you could go to. Like a good example.
Would it then be Anime Expo? Isn't it like based on the city?
I mean, maybe, but I don't understand why it feels like it needs to be tied to LA. Like it could draw just as well in San Jose or San Diego. In fact, I would actually advocate for it moving to San Diego, because there's a convention called San Diego Comic-Con that happens every year. It's the biggest Comic-Con on the planet that you never see this kind of stuff happen at. And partially this might also be because the people who run Anime Expo aren't great at organizing, and maybe that needs to be looked at too.
I mean, I would personally say they definitely need to move it. From everything I heard, like, take example from Otakon. Now they moved because the convention center was undergoing renovations, but the move helped out so much because holy crap, the new location is so much better. And I'm saying this as a frequent goer of Otakon.
I don't know this for a fact, but I think you went to Otakon back when it was still in Baltimore.
Yeah, no,
I also
I've
heard
been
that the
going
convention
for
center,
years.
the convention center it was in Baltimore was starting to fall apart.
It wasn't falling apart, but it was just getting way too crowded for how many people there were attending at Otakon. Like, it was definitely getting to be an issue. So when they moved, a lot of people protested against it, but overall, it actually is a better venue.
I was there last year, and I thought it was a pretty good venue for it.
Did they move to a different city?
Yeah, they moved from Baltimore to DC.
I see.
And it's a huge improvement.
They have had a drop in attendance since they have moved, but I would argue that drop in attendance is far outweighed by the rise in quality of venue.
Oh, for certain. The fact that this venue is just overall better. Definitely makes everything worth it. And a lot of that drop in attendance is because a lot of people were unsure of the new city and all that. But
Yeah.
a lot of people
Um,
have been advocating for it ever since actually experiencing it.
Now, none of us were at Anime Expo this year, but myself and Sho were at Anime Expo back in 2017. I don't know. You can refute me if you want on this show, but from my experience there, that convention center is way too small for Anime Expo for what Anime Expo has become.
I guess
It just
wasn't that
feels like
crowded.
I thought it was compared to other conventions I've been in. The dealer's room or the show floor was constantly crowded. You were running into people no matter how hard you tried not to. The artist alley was way too bundled together.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that is true.
I just think that overall, because Anime Expo has gotten to this 110,000 plus attendance level, it really needs to look for a new venue, whether it's inside
So-
LA, whether it's outside. I personally would advocate for them going to the San Diego Convention Center.
But like, even if the different venue, wouldn't the artist alley still be crowded? Because like, each booth is pretty small. It can only like support 5 people looking at it at once, and once more than 5 look at a booth, it's just like crowded. So
Yeah, but you could space out the aisles more if you were had
So,
a
like,
bigger venue.
are you discriminating against unhealthy weebs who can't do the
Yes.
cardio to get from one booth to the other?
Oh hell yeah! Please get fit.
Listen,
Please exercise.
If you can afford to go to an anime convention, you can afford deodorant and soap.
And a gym
That's all I'm gonna say.
membership.
That too.
They said
I don't
it,
know.
not me.
It just this has become such a constant issue for Anime Expo that the phrase line con has been created for it.
Okay,
That alone
LineCon's
should
been
be
a thing for like ever since the beginning of anime conventions. Let's be real.
Yeah, but it's not like it's been recently. I mean, when people are constantly passing out in the heat outside because it takes 5 or more hours to get in on day one, that should be a huge wake-up call that you have a problem.
Wait, I got it. Hot take. Are too many people becoming weebs?
Yes.
They need to be culled.
Yes, I can't be an elitist anymore if there are billions of you out there. Shut up.
Okay, next news point, please.
I just Anime Expo really needs to start tackling this, and they need to start taking this seriously, or people might actually stop going. I mean, stop being tied to LA, and you can fix a lot of this issue. Just saying. All right, so actual news that came out. Let's start with day one. Since Studio Wit isn't going to be animating the final season,
We don't know
Attack
that.
on
Stop
Titan,
saying that. Oh my god.
they did announce that they are going to be doing an original anime that's coming out in 2020 called The Great Pretender.
So, is this pretender news or fake news?
Shut up.
You know, it could be fake. You never know. But yeah, they announced that they're going to be doing a 23 episode original project called The Pretender. Since the convention has ended, there's actually been a couple of updates that have come out for this. Originally, all we got at the convention was a teaser visual and the name and the fact that it was going to be 23 episodes long. They revealed a bunch of the staff after the convention. One of them is the director is going to be Hiro Kaburagi. If you don't know that name, you probably know one of the things he directed was 91 Days, and that was really well-directed anime. The character designer is going to be Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, who is the character designer for Evangelion and Fulikuli. So there's some good names that have been attached to this project so far.
Some damn big names, if
yeah.
anything.
And another... go ahead.
Well, in particular, I like Yutaka Yamada, who did the music for Tokyo Ghoul, which, despite the other issues with the Tokyo Ghoul anime, the music was good.
Yeah, and then he's also doing also doing the music for the currently airing Vinland Saga. which I haven't watched the first episodes yet, but I have heard they are pretty good. Which is also being done by Studio Wit. But another update that came out afterwards is that the story is going to be centered around a theme of credit fraud and swindlers. So it sounds they got a good premise going right here. I mean, I'm convinced to give this a try when it comes out. So
my only
what about
issue
you guys?
is that Studio Wit is known for their action shows, and this seems to be like a drama. So it's kind of out of their comfort zone. So I don't know how they're gonna do this.
Yeah, I mean, it could go well, it could go badly. You never know.
It's good for them to explore, though. We'll see how they can pull it off. I can
Perhaps they're
imagine
stretching their legs.
Yeah, I can imagine them doing well with it because of like the type of shots they have done before. I could see it going well, but again, we'll have to see how they manage to do it in reality rather than just speculation.
Yeah, I'm just, if they're doing this to stretch their legs and see what they can do, I'm all for giving it a try and seeing how well they do. All right, so something else that was announced. The only reason I actually put this on here was because of its ridiculous title. So apparently, I didn't even hear about this until this was announced. Apparently, there's a manga out there called Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and it's getting an anime adaptation. I had not heard about this until this was announced, but apparently Sho knew about this before it was announced.
Listen, I only know about it because there's a cute Shota in it. So in the Shota circles I follow, they draw him. And I'm ready for those circles to draw more because that's what's going to happen when the anime airs. That's all I have to say about this. I will say that when I first heard about this, the name of this manga, I was also very unsettled,
weirded out.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Do you want to give us a
weird.
TLDR about what the hell this is about? Because I don't know.
I mean, I can read the synopsis that was on Anime News Network.
Go for it.
It says this is the synopsis. Hanako-san, are you there? At Kamome Academy, rumors are bound about the school's 7 mysteries, one of which is Hanako-san, said to occupy the 3rd stall of the 3rd floor girls' bathroom in the old school building. Hanako-san grants any wish when summoned. Nene Yashiro, an occult-loving high school girl who dreams of romance, ventures into this haunted bathroom, but the Hanako-san she meets there is nothing like she imagined. Kamome Academy's Hanako-san ... is a boy?
Oh.
That's the whole synopsis.
Okay,
So basically, gender bent Moaning Myrtle.
Maybe,
I'm
yeah,
into
pretty
it.
much. That's
And let me
actually a
tell
good
you,
analogy.
Hanako-kun knows how to moan.
Oh, God. Moving on.
Okay.
So, another thing that was announced, this is of great excitement to another member of our podcast who isn't here tonight, Natai. Studio Feel has announced that they will be returning to do the 3rd season of the Snafu anime in 2020. So, earlier this year, I think at Anime Japan, it was announced that Snafu would indeed be getting a 3rd season. I know a lot of people who loved Snafu were concerned that Studio Feel might not be coming back to do the 3rd season, but it has been now confirmed that they are. So I have not watched Snafu nor read it, but people tell me I should, so maybe this is a good chance for me to finally do something about that.
I love Snapplety.
On that note, none of you read or watch Snafu?
Nope.
I watched the anime, but
what do you think of it, Joe?
I liked it at first, but then it just got too confusing. Like, it was like they started referencing, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, they tried to do a lot of talking without speaking. They tried to do like nonverbal communication too much, to the point that I didn't understand what was going on, and I thought it wasn't as I thought it lost its flair.
Interesting.
I still want to give it a try just because so many people say I should.
That is quite popular.
It is. It's certainly Natai, I know, loves it. So I'm sure he's very, very happy about this news. So next, one person who was at Anime Expo this year, easy for me to say, was Katsuhiro Otomo, who is the mangaka behind Akira. I love Akira. I love the manga. I love the original anime. I think it's absolutely wonderful. One of the greatest things ever to come out of the anime industry. But since he was at Anime Expo, one of the things that was announced from him is that he is going to be working on a new film with Sunrise called Orbital Era. And not a whole lot was released about this. I'm assuming it has something to do with space travel. Okay, so I actually didn't see this in the article. Apparently there's been an update since Anime Expo. It says the plot takes place in the near future on a space colony under construction. It is an action-adventure story following the lives of some young boys surviving in this peculiar environment and society as they are tossed around by fate. The reality found in mankind's future will be depicted through their perspective. So, could be interesting.
All I know is that it's CG, so I'm not watching it.
Oh my god.
Okay,
says the man who watched fucking the remake of Legend of the Galactic Heroes and thought it was good.
That wasn't full CG.
There was a lot of it though.
This is full CG.
It was still good. Damn, chill.
No, but like the characters are CG. I can't deal with CG characters. You, Chinoda, you have not seen this preview, have you?
I haven't, no.
Then you don't know the horrors that await in Orbital Era. Maybe they will improve the animation for the actual, what is this, movie, show, whatever.
It's a movie.
But the trailer ain't pretty. But I do want to point out that J Balvin is going to be collaborating with M-Flow on the theme song, which I'm like, oh my god, actually non-Japanese artists making music for Japanese media? What?
Not unheard of, but very rare.
Hopefully it gets more and more
yes,
a thing.
Please. They should do Cardi B next.
Oh my god, no. You're fucking fired.
You got J Balvin, you got Cardi B, you know, just every artist.
Listen, JoJo did it right. They do actual good music.
No, they don't even make new songs. It's not new songs though, right?
Most new songs are garbage. This might
there
be
you
the
go.
old man in
Can I get a fucking amen?
Oh my god.
The biggest surprise for me out of this announcement was that Sunrise was doing it, and like, Sunrise, what? Where have you guys been? They used to be known as like the Gundam studio, and now they pop their heads up every now and then, like, we're still here. Hi.
They're beyond the horizon.
There you go. But as if that wasn't enough to lift Sunrise out of complete obscurity, Otomo came back with yet another announcement that the Akira manga is getting a brand new anime project, and it's not going to be a movie. It's going to be a fucking series that has been touted as a complete adaptation of the manga. Now, this is in my opinion the biggest news that came out of Anime Expo this year.
I would agree.
But I want to point out, for those of you who have seen the Akira movie, but have not read the Akira manga, the Akira movie ends at roughly the halfway point of the manga, and for those of you that haven't read it, you're probably going to really enjoy this series because some real banging shit happens in the second half. I would argue the second half is actually better than its first.
Whoa, that is promising a lot, and as someone who hasn't read it, it better live up, because holy shit, that sounds extremely fantastic.
Yeah, so and this also is being done by Sunrise, so fingers crossed that they still got some wind in their sails, because this, in my estimation, this, I hesitate to call it a remake because it's not a movie, but this reboot, anime reboot of Akira.
It's not a
Could
reboot
go
either, right?
I don't know. This anime series adaptation of Akira could go one of two ways: either horribly badly or really, really good. I don't think there's going to be an in between.
We'll have to see.
You haven't seen Akira, have you, Sho?
Nope.
Wait, Show
Sad,
what?
man. You sad,
Yo,
sad
we're
I
gonna
wasn't
have to-
born in 1901.
Whoa.
Neither was
Whoa.
I, but I still watch it. The fuck? Yo, you need to fix that mistake.
Honey, if it hasn't aired in the last season, I'm not watching it.
I'm gonna fucking come up there and whoop your ass.
Oh no. Please,
Oh,
Daddy.
man.
Don't be too
Oh,
hard.
whoa.
Oh god.
So anyway, wow. There was no like release date or any kind of timeline that was given for this new anime Akira series. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's probably not gonna be 2020. I'm gonna make a guess. This is a complete guess on my part. I'm gonna say summer or fall of 2021. That's gonna be my educated guess about when this might come out. One thing we did get a solid release date on is the fact that there is going to be a complete ground-up 4K remaster of the original 1988 Akira film that is going to be released in Japan on April 24th, 2020. Now, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this will be the first 4K anime.
I think you're right.
I can't think of any other anime that's been either remastered or been done recently that was announced as 4K. So I think this is going to be anime's first 4K offering, which I got to be honest with you, I'm very happy with that it's something like Akira that's going to be the very first anime in 4K.
I literally don't think you'll be able to tell the difference.
I can.
Oof. But
Honey,
yeah.
Can
we
you
would
even tell
have
the
to
difference
see.
between 720 and 1080?
Yes, I can. Especially if I'm watching on a 1080 screen.
Sure, Jan.
Anyway, I'm definitely excited. So much good Akira news coming out. And I have one last piece of Katsuhiro Otomo news. Kodansha announced at Anime Expo that they are going to be releasing what they're calling the Complete Works project. So every piece that he's ever worked on is going to be collected into one giant fucking collection from the very beginning of his career to now. So I am personally very excited by that because it's pretty good, man. None of you have ever read any of his works, have you?
Nope.
not that I know of.
That's a shame.
I mean, I don't particularly pay attention to who does what normally. So
I mean, Akira is by far his most popular. He also did Steam Boy, Robot Carnival, Harmageddon. I don't know. They're all worth reading, in my opinion. I just wanted to point that out there, that I'm very excited that it's all going to be compiled into one big omnibus format.
no, that is pretty cool. Someone like that getting a lot of recognition is always really cool.
Yeah. And we're still on day one of the announcements, by the way. All right, so something else that was announced, Demon Slayer, which I think all of us that are watching it on the podcast are really enjoying so far, was
God
announced
tier.
that it's definitely, if it keeps up its current quality, it's going to be an Anime of the Year nominee worthy for sure. It was announced that it is going to air with an English dub on Toonami. Chinoda, you kind of keep up with stuff like this. I have to ask you a question.
What's up?
Can you think of a time when an anime that was currently airing in Japan was also available on Toonami?
Oh,
With the exception of Fooly Cooly. Because that's a rare case. That's a special case.
I don't think so, honestly. Like, this is pretty different, and I mean, it's great, but I can't think of anything else that's been the same story.
Yeah, I can't think of one either. I when I saw this news, I was thinking for a long time, and I just can't think of any time that Toonami was airing something while it was still airing in Japan, unless it was a long-running show like Inuyasha, but I don't think that was on Toonami back in the day. Maybe it was, I don't remember. That's a long time
Inuyasha?
ago.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it
Was it on
was.
Toonami?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. Way back when.
So maybe you could say that, but not something this short that was still airing.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was airing concurrently back then. Like hell no. That was
Yeah.
just not a thing back in the day.
I wanted to point that out because it's interesting news that this might be a first for Toonami. So what we got here next? Oh, did I add this or did someone else?
Not me.
Oh, which one?
Oh, okay. About the Plunderer TV anime. I think this was me, but I don't remember why I put this here.
Honey, I don't know why you put it there either.
I don't know. For some reason I put the news that Funimation said that it would stream the Plunderer TV anime. I don't know why I put this here, but there it is for you.
Only quality news roundup from
I'm
Anime
just
Club
sitting,
After
I'm just sitting
Dark.
here. Why did I put this on here? Maybe because Funimation scooped this up so quickly. I don't know. I don't think this is an isekai, so that's a plus. I can read the synopsis really quick. It's labeled as a heroic action fantasy. It's the year 305 on the Alcyon calendar, and the world is controlled by numbers. Every human born is branded with a count, which could mean anything from the number of kilometers walked to the amount of people who have said your food is tasty. And if your count drops to 0, you'll be sent into the abyss. After Hina's mother's count dropped to 0, her last request is for Hina to look after the legendary Red Baron. That's
What
it.
the fuck?
What?
I don't know why I put this on here, but this is on my list of things to talk about.
This sounds
Anyway,
really
moving on.
lame.
Why the fuck did I put this on here? Anyway, maybe I don't know. But tying into that, speaking of Funimation, Funimation announced a partnership with Right Stuff and Nozomi Entertainment for anime streaming. I wanted to talk about this for a very specific reason, in the fact that with this partnership, a lot of older anime that have sort of been hard to get streaming or have had like their home video licenses expire. This now means that they will be coming to Funimation, the streaming service. A couple of them that stand out is Revolutionary Girl Utena, the original Boogie Pop Phantom, Junjo Romantica, if that's your cup of tea.
Oh, honey, don't put that out on a family outing. Let me tell you.
And here's a blast from that's Gravitation.
The
I
fuck
mean, that's
is
not
that?
that bad. I don't think the
Gravitation was
Gravitation.
okay. Gravitation
Okay,
was
listen.
okay.
At least I could sit through Gravitation. I couldn't sit through Gentle Romantica.
But anyway, I wanted to mention that because some of these things will be available now for streaming on Funimation.
Honey, can I get Gravitation in 4K?
Why, of all the things to bring in 4K, why would you want that?
I swear, okay, I've been trying to watch Gentle Romantica, but all I can find is like the 480. So I don't know if there's even a higher quality available, but maybe it will be available.
Maybe not.
After this.
Maybe they realized it was so bad they just didn't even bother animating.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of Fujoshis get excitement from, or satisfaction from that show.
I'm actually kind of jumping ahead here, but since we're talking about Right Stuff and Nozomi, I did want to bring up something that they announced on day 3 of the convention. They did announce at their panel there were a couple of things that they have picked up the license for, which I assume now means that they will also be available on Funimation, at least eventually. Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, 80 Police, El Hazard 2, and El Hazard, the alternate world, were all picked up by Nozomi and Right Stuff. I mentioned this specifically for Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. If you haven't watched this anime, fucking watch it when it gets onto Funimation. It's definitely worth your time. It's really, really good, and I don't think it's actually been available for streaming anywhere else as far as I know. Just do it. I'm not even gonna tell you what it's about. Just do it. It's what Shaft worked on right before Monogatari.
Oh, that's okay.
And it's where the Shaft head tilt really sort of originated from. I don't think it's really the first thing there was a Shaft head tilt in, but it certainly made it popular. Anyway, I wanted to bring that up. So day 2 day 2 of the convention. We're finally at day 2. The first bit of news, and I think one of the biggest things to come out of day 2, well, maybe the second biggest thing, there is an anime movie coming out called Human Lost. It was teased quite a bit ago. It's a 3D CG film, so you can go to sleep right now, show. But it was announced that the film will open in North America before it opens in Japan.
Whoa, what?
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's gonna open in American and North American theaters before it opens in Japan. So
has that ever even happened before?
I can think of a time when it happened concurrently. I mean, it pretty much did that with the Pokemon movies back in the day.
Oh, honey, that stuff I said about Orbital Era, I was actually talking about Human Lost.
Oh, for
honey,
you?
There's too many anime films.
And you don't even watch anime movies.
No.
Yeah, I forget where I was going with this. Fuck, I can't think of... The only thing I can think of is ones where it's happened relatively concurrently, and I'm pretty sure the original, like the first 2 or 3 Pokemon movies back in the day came out in America very, very shortly after they started airing in Japan, like 2 or 3 weeks after. So that's pretty close enough to concurrent in my mind.
I mean, you've already heard my take on this film.
Go ahead.
No, you've already heard it.
Oh, that it's... I mean, you weren't wrong about Orbital Era being CG either, but...
I don't even know. I didn't even look at the other film, so I don't know if... what was it? If...
Human Lost is the name of it.
No. Wait, Orbital Era is also CG?
Yes.
Oh my god! That is so confusing. Okay, well...
I think it premieres... I can't really see where it... Oh, no, they haven't announced when it's actually gonna premiere yet. But they have said that it will premiere in North America before Japan. I just thought that was interesting news.
It's definitely unique, and I'm looking forward to seeing what exactly they're doing with this, because like it's rather unheard of, for certain.
It's I will point out that this movie is based on a novel by Osamu Dazai, so it will not be fun. It will not be happy. It will be everything that you can think of as depressing.
Sounds like a good time, except it's in CG. You know, honestly, isn't it just inherently depressing because it's in CG?
Whoa.
I'm not even gonna respond
Big
to that,
thought.
you motherfucker. Yeah, your hot take is shitty. All right, so day 2 was also some big Trigger news, and if you followed the podcast for any of the time, you know that I fucking love Studio Trigger. Trigger revealed at Anime Expo that Little Witch Academia director Yo Yoshinari, who is bless that man, is going to be directing a new, completely original television anime titled BNA, which stands for Brand New Animal.
I love Boku no Hero Academia.
Oh, you motherfucker! Shut up with that bullshit. And they're bringing back the script writer of Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill, Kazuki Nagashima. So that's very, very promising. It's going to be premiering in 2020. Now, I don't think this has been officially confirmed, but it's sort of been soft confirmed that Netflix has picked up the distribution rights for this outside of Japan.
How was it soft confirmed? I'm curious.
I think someone had asked a question at the panel that this was announced at, because there was like a Q&A session afterwards. And they kind of let slip that they were happy to be working with Netflix again. So that sort of hasn't been officially confirmed by Netflix or anybody else, but it was sort of soft confirmed by someone saying that.
Okay. So we don't actually know, but we know.
Maybe. I will say, if this is at Little Witch Academia like levels with the money that Netflix threw at them for that, I definitely look forward to seeing this. But it's Trigger, so I'm going to watch it anyway.
I'm not a furry, so I probably won't be watching this unless those animal heads are masks.
They might be. They could be. They could be in suits.
Because I see that the alleged woman, I'm not entirely sure, has
Did you just assume her gender?
No, they say one of them is a woman.
Uh-huh.
And I did say alleged. Anyways, the one who is sitting on the poster art has human legs and human feet and human arms. So I'm not. So they're not full furry. They're just like soft furry. So I don't know how comfortable I am with that. Like,
all I'm saying is I'm gonna be looking forward to the porn.
Oh my god!
No.
Moving on to some other Trigger news that came out. So Trigger also announced that their latest anime offering, which is the feature film premiere, which Shinoda and I will be seeing at Otakon in a couple of weeks.
Hell yeah. And then going directly afterwards to Trigger and to talk Q&A to them panel. About it. Oh, that'll be great.
It's going to be great. They announced that they, along with their partner, I don't know if your sister's parents had NYAV or NYAV. I don't know. NYAV is doing the dub for Premiere, but they are doing it with intense, and I emphasize that, intense supervision by Studio Trigger, and to the degree that Studio Trigger will be making the casting decisions for the dub. That is some unprecedented control, if I've ever seen it.
Is it unprecedented? I thought it's been done before.
There have been some individuals who have been pretty deeply involved with dubbing and translating processes. A good example of this is Nisio Isin, the writer of the Monogatari series, was, or still is, pretty involved with the English translation of the novels that's going on right now. But I don't think an actual studio as a whole has ever been this invested. I could be wrong. If anyone can think of one, please let me know. I just thought it was interesting that they're going to be making decisions on the casting.
I'm looking forward to it because it actually shows that they're starting to invest more in worldwide releases and such, and that they actually care about all their audience.
And let's be honest, Studio Trigger definitely appeals itself more to the Western audience than anything else. They've even said that before, that they actually seek to appeal themselves to a Western audience.
That's fine, but now they're even showing more proof of it. It's fantastic. And it helps us, of all people, see their true vision as it is.
Yeah, I think so. I think if a studio can have say over who gets cast, maybe you'll have better casting decisions. Although, if they're not speaking the same language, I wonder how that's even possible.
I'm sure they have people that they just like or recognize as good talent. I trust in them. I'm sure I hope it'll go well. We'll see what happens as it comes out.
Trigger will save anime yet again. That's what's going to happen. Because they always save anime, Shinoda.
Next news.
Yeah, so on to day 3, and I know for a fact that someone besides me added this here.
Of course, yes, I did. So apparently, Persona 3's director Tomohisa Taguchi is now directing Digimon Adventure: Last Evolution Kizuna anime film, which I didn't even know was a thing, because we recently had like 6 films of Digimon Tri, which I'd
like to point out is Digimon Hex, if there's 6 films.
I don't even know if there's 6 films. I'm not entirely sure. There's a number of films. And it's Tri because it's the 3rd season, not because of the number of films. Jesus. God.
Lies.
But yeah, this is another throwback, which I'm not entirely sure if this is the first time we are becoming aware that this film exists, or if it had existed beforehand, as in the announcement had happened another time. But either way, it's the first time I've heard of it, so that's all that matters. And I'm very excited to see more Digimon Adventure. Even though Digimon Tribe was not that great, I still have hopes that Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna will be all that I dreamed of. Also, I hope that Crunchyroll streams this, just like they streamed Try, so that I can actually watch it, because otherwise I won't be able to.
I'd also like to point out that the person who's directing this also directed Kino's Journey, and that is beautifully directed.
I've heard good things about it, so yeah.
Yeah. Also, when I first read this, all I read was Kizuna. I'm like, oh, Kizuna Ai is getting an anime film?
You fucking degenerate.
It's like, sign me the fuck right up. Oh, here's something else that I know Sho added because he wants to rant for a few minutes.
No.
So I'll turn this over to Sho because I know he wants to rant.
So, to everyone's surprise, Carol and Tuesday, the anime that began airing, 3 months ago, is having its worldwide quote-unquote debut on Netflix on August 30th. Wow. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud of you, Netflix. You are so timely. You just are
also,
on the ball.
I want to point out before you go. Wait, hold on.
Beyond any belief.
Hold on.
I am truly
want to point out,
inspired.
I need to point out before you go any further, the first episode aired on April 10th, 2019.
That's 4 months in. And let me just say that 1 month after its worldwide debut on Netflix, it will finish airing its 4th episode. So I'm just really pissed off at you, Netflix. I will not be watching it on Netflix. I will be continuing to pirate because Netflix, you suck. Please.
Can I ask you a question? Would it be better if they had just released the entire thing on the first day of the season?
If you're gonna license something, then release it when it comes out.
Do you know what the funny thing is? I have a Japanese Netflix account, and I can go on there and watch it right now on Netflix with English subtitles.
Wow. Ain't that some shit?
I don't understand. And we actually have a plan to talk about this in an upcoming episode about anime streaming services. So, but I knew you wanted to rant about this.
Side note, Carol and Tuesday is a really good anime, and I highly recommend it. It is amazingly animated. The music is actually just incredible.
Good.
I
haven't watched the anime yet, but I have listened to some of the music from it, and it's really good music.
I don't know who they have singing it, but it has actual English songs, as in not English. Like, you can hear they don't have an accent, they're pronouncing the words properly, and the actual songs are like radio quality bangers. So I'm super impressed by it. It's a great show. If only I could watch it legally.
The singing voices for Carol and Tuesday are someone called Nye Bricks, I think is how you say that, and Selenia Ann, who I'm assuming both of these people are native English speakers.
But it's not just the two main characters. Like, there's a lot of different characters that do music in the show, and they're all amazing. So
they did their research for the
definitely
anime,
going to be
is what he's trying to say, and it pays off.
They got really good talent to do their songs, which is, I mean, it's the main point of the show is music. So
yeah,
they put the effort where it was supposed to be put.
Also, this is apparently another great anime by Shinichiro Watanabe. Just Cowboy Bebop. Throwing that out there.
Throwing that up.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, I haven't started watching it yet, but I'm definitely going to, based almost entirely on your recommendation, Show.
My recommendations are always right. You should watch Attack on Titan. And Sword Art Online.
You're a funny bitch. You know that. All right. So another piece of, I guess, streaming news, maybe, was announced by Crunchyroll, and the fact that they're, I say this in quotes mostly because it's in quotes in the article, that they're going to, quote, bring over Konosuba's movie that is, I think, aired or premiered this week.
Was it?
I know the beginning of July, um, and I I bring this up first off. Congratulations, Crunchyroll! You figured out that people actually want to watch anime movies. That's great. You should keep that up. But I also bring this up as they didn't actually explain what bring over meant. I'm assuming it has to mean one of two things. Either they're bringing it over in the sense that they're going to have it available to stream, or they're bringing it over in the sense that they are going to put it in American theaters.
My assumption is they're going to have it over to stream after it's had its run in theaters. That's my assumption.
That's my assumption too, because Crunchyroll doesn't really have shall we say, a penchant for putting stuff in theaters. I don't think they ever have, unless it was something they did in conjunction with Crunchyroll, or not with Funimation while they had their partnership.
Not that I remember.
I don't remember it either. So I'm way more inclined to think this is going to be available for streaming at some point. So congratulations, Crunchyroll. You figured out that people like watching anime movies. It only took you, 10 years?
Better late than never?
Maybe. They also did announce, I don't think this was actually announced at Anime Expo, I think it was announced a couple of days after Anime Expo, that they had also licensed the 2 OVAs for Konosuba for seasons 1 and season 2. So if you haven't had a chance to watch those yet, you soon will on Crunchyroll.
Isn't it already on there, if I remember right? I could have sworn I saw it up.
I haven't looked since the announcement was made. They may have announced it saying that it was already up there, but they didn't. It wasn't up there before Anime Expo. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is by now as of this recording, so go ahead and take a look. You might be in for a treat.
All right. And I think the last 3 bits of news are all ones that were put on there by Show.
Ugh, you leaving this up to me? Okay.
Yes, because I refuse to talk about Sword Art Online.
Even though you should. On record that I recommended it. So the teaser video for the new Sword Art Online show, which would be Alicization War of Underworld, which I don't know why you feel the need to make all these crazy names up. You could just say part 2 of Alicization. Anyways, the teaser video streamed. It was not that great. It was just basically Asuna falling on top of Kirito, which is great if you're into that. Asuna's clearly a top in the relationship.
Kirito.
What?
Generic character number 3.
I was making a Mirai Nikki joke.
Okay. Well, it wasn't funny. But yeah, I did enjoy Alicization because of the BL shipping, but I don't think there will be any BL shipping in Underworld. So I don't know how much I'm looking forward to it, but the possibility still exists. So
isn't this the one with the rape?
Which aren't they all? Don't they all have rape?
Well, I know that the original Sword Art Online had tentacle rape in it.
No, the original Sword Art Online had actual rape.
That's true. I was more concerned with the tentacle rape, though.
I know that's your kink, but you don't have to push it on others. Yeah, so I'm just glad that, the Underworld's actually happening. Because, if I don't get BL, at least I get Kirito. So, it's better than nothing.
You sad, strange little man.
Oh my god. Don't kink shame me. Okay.
Too late.
I don't know if you guys have anything to say about this.
Hell no, I watched the first episode of Alicization and I just got the biggest waste of 45 minutes of my life.
I'm looking forward to it. I've already watched it, and it's actually better than all the other stuff, so I'm looking forward to it and see how it all turns out.
Excuse me, all the other stuff, it is not better than Demon Slayer, fuck you.
All the other stuff in the anime series. God.
Okay, be specific when you say that shit.
I would agree. I definitely enjoyed it because there was no BL previously, so. Next piece of news. Viz Media has an original series coming out on Netflix, which is debuting this fall, and it is entitled, excuse my mispronunciation, but it's called Seis Manos.
That was pretty good.
Okay. I don't know what that means. Do you know that?
6 hands.
6 hands. Oh, honey. That's a lot. I only have 3, but so this
I'm gonna gloss over that obviously bad penis joke.
this this looks so bad. um just from the 3-minute preview they posted on Twitter, the animation is so horrible. It's like they are
It's like it's done like paint by numbers.
it's okay, not okay, that's like the art. The art style is not the best, but they are jitting around. There's no smooth motion. They're one end of the room, and then the next frame they're at the other end of the room. They're basically teleporting. It looks like a hot mess. And also,
you want to see some really bad movement animation. Episode 17 of Dororo. Holy crap!
yeah.
Am I right, Shinoda?
Unfortunately.
And
It just hops around the scene.
I mean, I'm glad that Seis Manos is focusing on people of color. They're focusing on Mexican characters, but I'm not too happy that it's the Mexican cartel. Because I'm how many stories about the Mexican cartel are there? Is there nothing else you can talk about Mexican people? It's really? I don't know. It feels...
Isn't it being directed by a Latino director?
Oh, really? Well, that's nice.
I think so. Don't quote me on that. I had heard, but
honey, why isn't J Balvin on this? Or is that racist? I don't know. I assume you get it.
I like how you before you said it's can I say this? Is this too racist for me?
Honey, whatever.
Wait, let me give this to Alex. He'll say it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And the last piece of news that I've added is that Ultramarine Magmel is going to be streaming on Netflix, and it'll be debuting on August 15th. Now, Ultramarine Magmel also aired originally in Japan around April, but unlike Carol and Tuesday, it is not so readily available on the 7 Seas. So basically the only way I'm going to...
Wait, tell everyone why.
Wait, why?
Tell everyone why it's not, because all the people in the sub circles kept dropping it.
Well, I watched the Deadfish sub, and Deadfish dropped it, and then the only subgroup that's subbing it is Thunder subs, or whatever, I don't know, something with a thunder in it, and they basically are Google translating it, and I literally can't. I don't understand.
Serious?
I cannot understand what the characters are saying. So there's really no point in watching it. But now that Netflix,
I can only imagine the bad grammar.
now, literally, I watched I think it's Thundra sub of the first episode, and then I watched the Deadfish sub, and it felt like I was watching 2 different shows. I'm oh, this
probably
happened?
because they're
Wait, when
actually
did this
subtitling
happen?
it.
I'm wait. I didn't know that this character existed. I'm I don't understand. Okay. But I'm glad that Netflix has picked up Ultramarine Magmel, because I can actually watch it. And I also recommend this show. Even though it is quite unpopular, it is very... it's not the best animation, but the plot is very interesting. I do recommend it.
God, you keep on saying
also,
Ultramarine, and I just keep on thinking, oh god, a 40K anime, and I have to constantly remind myself, no, that's not what's happening. But God, I wish that is what would happen.
Honey,
I like how you made that association without even having to be led to it.
This is the last anime that needs 4K.
Oh man. Also worth mentioning is Netflix actually did pick up the kickstarted anime Cannon Busters. So, if anyone, I don't know, did you guys ever even hear about that?
No, what the fuck is that?
It's sort of like, God, how do I describe this? I'll fucking read the synopsis. The series follows the adventures and exploits of Sam, and that's spelled out S-A-M, a high-end royal-class friendship droid who's joined by a quirky, discarded maintenance robot and a brash, deadly fugitive. Together, the unlikely trio embarks on an unforgettable journey in a fantastic and dangerous world in search of Sam's best friend, the heir to a powerful kingdom under siege. It's basically 3 unlikely heroes meet and go on an adventure.
Oh, by LaShawn Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is one that was kickstarted, I think, was it back in 2016.
Oh, he has a big afro. What is he hiding in there?
Yeah, I thought that was worth. I don't know if I'll even give Magmel a shot.
Dude,
despite your
it's
glowing
so good.
recommendation.
It's so good.
But yeah, that's all we have to talk about. Obviously, some other stuff happened at Anime Expo, but this is all the stuff we thought was worthy to talk about. And this episode's probably gone on long enough as it is. Is there anything else that we should talk about for Anime Expo? There is one thing. First of all, Sekai Project licensed Nekopara Volume 4. And the Nekopara anime comes out later this year. Brace yourselves. But although nothing has been confirmed yet, I am actually looking into going to Anime Expo next year. Trying to convince some other members of the podcast here to go with me.
Despite the 20-minute rant that Alex did on Anime Expo, his weeb ass is still desperate to go.
Listen, first off, I may be able to find a back alley fucking way to get in like you and I did the year we were there. Which was not supposed to be open, and I do not recommend anyone that goes there sneak around the premises to try and find an open door.
Honey, if you have so many problems with Anime Expo, why are you going?
Because
you were
despite
hippo.
all of its issues, because I'm a hypocrite, but also despite all of its issues, it is still where everybody goes. All the studios go there.
And that's why they don't give a fuck about quality, because you gonna go anyways.
God damn it. Stop calling me out on my hypocrisy.
Damn. Say it as it is.
Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Nothing's set in stone yet, obviously, but I'm still trying to convince other people to go with me. That was directed at you, Show.
Huh? Are we still recording?
And on that note, thank you all there for let me try that again. Thank you all there for dropping in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed it because we always enjoy bringing this stuff to you. If you want to check out previous episodes of the podcast, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can join us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Shoot us an email if you have any questions or if you have any ideas for topics you would like for us to talk about in the future. Links to all these things will be down below in the description. As always, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, everybody.
Bye-bye. Get some drinks.
Drink! Wait, did Show just fuck off?
Show?
He did! The motherfucker!
Oh my god. The balls.
Good night, everybody.
Come